Alright, so level 170 is here and it came alongside some XP nerfs. However, it's not as bad as we thought. So as you can see, I have my Tamer area at 150, I have my Digimon at 150, I have 2 more Digimons at 150 because turns out leveling is super easy and the XP changes are not actually that bad. The first change is that they changed how XP work from killing mobs. So as you can see, I'm gonna kill this Gizmon, yet I did not get any XP because now you can only get XP from mobs that around 30 levels of your Digimon. So the level 112 Gizmon is no longer gonna give XP, which means leveling in Minato is no longer gonna be viable for levels below 80. The other change which you may have noticed is the HP in Minato City have been increased. As you can see, I just killed the normal mob and the HP is almost 80k, so leveling in Minato is gonna be much harder. So on first glance it might seem to be a nerf, and in fact it is indeed a nerf, but in the grand scheme of things it really doesn't matter. So let's talk about how you can actually level. With that said, I also want to mention that it is actually indeed a nerf and kinda is a bad thing for newer players, which means what you're gonna have to do is to progress as fast as possible when it comes to main quests and unlocking maps, because the way you're gonna level is using quests. So what you should do is you should unlock Shinjuku D Reapers maps as soon as possible, because that's gonna be the main way of leveling from 1 up to at least 70. So yeah, doing the XP in Shinjuku D Reapers maps gives you a lot. As you can see, 21 million from a single quest, and it already gave me a few level 1 when I was at like 51. So doing these quests all in the office map and the West Shinjuku and East Shinjuku D Reapers map will give you a lot of XP, will level up your Digimon from level 1 to level 71. Now if you don't have this map unlocked, as I said, you should unlock them as soon as possible, but if you don't have them unlocked and you need to level up now, then honestly you have to do such normal File Island quests. So there is no super fast way. Before you unlock Shinjuku D Reaper, you do the quests in File Island, and you can also kill mobs in Waterfront, I guess, and in the desert. Again, not super fast, so you have to unlock the Shinjuku D Reaper maps as soon as possible. So after you've done all the daily quests in these two maps, your Digimon should be around level 70. So where do you level up next? So the expensive pay to win way is the highest monster cards. Obviously they are expensive, so I'm not gonna assume that you have enough Terra to buy monster cards. If you have got some, then that's gonna be the fastest way to get your Digimon to level 100, but of course not everyone are willing to buy a monster card to level every single Digimon. So if you don't have this, then what else can you do? The next best thing is gonna be the normal Shinjuku maps. So yeah, as you can see, you got 800k per kill. It's not super fast unfortunately, but it shouldn't be that much of a problem to get the last few levels up until like 80ish, and the mobs here don't have a lot of HP. You can see normal Digimon have like 26k HP, so you can easily kill it with any Digimon. And of course, for more advanced player, the absolute fastest way is the quests from the new map. As you can see, 500 million from a single quest, and yeah, we're already at level 95 from a single quest. And once you are at exactly 81, you can now enter Rainbow Bridge, and there have been a change in Rainbow Bridge. So I have 6000 hit. I took off all my clothes to lower my hit as low as possible, and as you can see here, I am hitting all my hits at 6000 hit, which is huge considering that I am basically 29 levels lower than the enemy Digimons. And as you can see, we got a lot of XP thanks to the XP changes, 16 million per kill, which is obviously way more than we would get before. So yeah, as you can see, under leveled, only 6k hit, and I'm able to hit. That's the change, which means you can enter Rainbow Bridge much earlier than you would have to before. Previously you could, and yeah, this is where you will be leveling from 82 up until exactly 126. Now unfortunately it does use limited passes, but yeah, I've been saving them for a while, so make sure you take your passes. If you don't have Rainbow Bridge unlocked, then obviously go ahead and do that. It's gonna be important. As I said earlier in the video, the most important part moving forward right now in the game is to unlock the quests for the maps as soon as possible. And of course, once you are exactly at 126, you can start doing the Kaiser Domain tour, which is by far the fastest way to level to 150, and this makes leveling from 126 to 150 extremely easy. I did it insanely quickly doing the tour, so it is basically the best thing ever. So as I said, you really should try your best to rush and open these maps. So how to do them? They work kinda similar like the D Reaper Shinjuku map store. Unfortunately right now they are a bit scuffed, but in theory they should work similar. You should do all 6 channels, but because it's a bit scuffed, it's kinda hard. But in my experience, we were always able to do at least 4 or 5 channels of every single raid. You will get disconnected a lot of times, which is kinda inevitable right now, but KDMO, I believe, got a a server update. It's been updated to 64 bits, something like that, and from what I understand, that's what will stop the game from crashing, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, hopefully this will be fixed soon. But of course, the tips I can give you to not crash is obviously lower your graphic, make sure the names are off and the blowing effect off, and try to stay away from the players. Don't look at the player in the camera, try to look away from the players and teleport as soon as possible. You can also like run away a little bit right before the raid dies, because in my experience the most times that you crash at is when people are teleporting to other channels. So yeah, hopefully you don't crash. And now let's talk about how you actually do it. So the raids happen once every 6 hours, and we always start with Monochromon in channel 0. Obviously you can look at the raid timer and go there every 6 hours, and you will kill Monochromon at channel 0, and then you move forward in the channel. After killing the Monochromon channel 0, you move to channel 1, 2, 3, up until 6 in theory, but unfortunately we don't make it to 6. People just screwed up the order, but as I said, in my experience, we always do at least a few channels up until like channel 4 or something. It looks to be consistent. Even only doing those 5 channels was enough to get my Digimon to level 150 and more, and even my tamer. So yeah, it's super fast. So yeah, after you kill Monochromon up until like channel 6 or channel 4, whatever channel you stopped at, you will move to the next boss, which is Skull Greymon. Now the raid order is literally the same order as the quest and the same order that they are ordered in the raid timer. So you have your work done out for you. You don't have to remember any specific order. It's very simple. So you move to Skull Greymon, and after defeating Skull Greymon in the latest channel that you killed Monochromon at, then after this you move to Roachmon from channel 0 up to until 4 or up until 6 if it got fixes in the future, and we can do all 6 channels. Then of course from Roachmon, and by the way there are 2 Roachmons, and then you move to Digimon, same thing, you kill it first on the latest channel that you were at, and then Starmon, and then lastly Warumunzaimon, and that's literally it. 6 hours respawn timer, you can do it every 6 hours, and you get an insane amount of XP. Leveling your Digimon to 150 and Tamer to 150 is gonna be super easy. All you need to do is to get your Digimon to level 126, which is actually super easy in Rainbow Bridge. It actually is a buff because Rainbow Bridge is now easier, and because you start in Rainbow Bridge when the mobs are higher than you get more XP. There is a little bit of a drop off around 110 when you start surpassing the mobs, and it's gonna be a bit slower, but the last few levels from 110 to 126 and then Rainbow Bridge really shouldn't be that much of a problem. So overall it is indeed a buff. And last thing I want to say is you also get a lot of equipment upgrade related items from the raid, so it's actually not that pay to win as I thought, because there are other ways other than the battle pass, which are the raids. So yeah, it's super fast. Hopefully you can do it without getting disconnected. As of now, obviously, if you're wondering about what about level 150 or above, the raids in the Kaiser Domain tour should work, but it's as of now incredibly slow. The amount of XP that you need from 150 to 151 is insane. It's more than the amount of XP you need from 140 to 150. So right now it's not really worth it to try and level to 150. 150 is fine in my experience. It makes things like Colo Hero mode. I retested it, did not have any crit rate related problems. So as of now 150 seems to be a good stopping point. We are still gonna get more maps in the future, so in my opinion don't try to rush it unless you really want to. But yeah, if you have any question, leave them down in the comments. And with that, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe for more demo content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.